You guys want to know about some first aid herbs? If you're like me, you want to kind of have the knowledge to be able to take care of yourself, especially in an emergency. Um, Might be one of my motivations, especially after doing some time in hospitals. God knows you don't want to have to go in there if you don't have to. But some of the stuff is more like in the wilderness type of thing. But I just want to share with you how potent these herbs are, help give respect, understanding that nature has everything in the wild and that wild is best. You'll see why. Pharmaceuticals are made off of herbs many times, our first one being off of Digitalis, which I'll talk about today, and the developer, who is basically a neighbor, not really, they're on the other side of McMinnville, but they he created digoxin. Now, what he did wrong was he'd only pulled out one. They look for one active constituent, right? One active ingredient, an AI, they'll call it. And they'll poo poo the rest of it, not seen until marijuana to help consistently show you all the millions of other components that are useful for that plant to keep it together properly. There are checks and balances going on inside there we don't understand that work with our body. There's herbs like one herb I use, hawthorn, all the time. It can help with too low a blood pressure or too high a blood pressure. It can help with too fast of a rhythm or too slow of a rhythm of the heart. It does everything for the heart. But the rose family has been with us for thousands of years. They've grown with us. It's the only reason it makes an apple so much fruit is for us. It's really cool. I love it. Anyway, today then Dr. Amanda Lynn Hoffman, I'm a naturopathic physician who has a love for bringing out naturopathic medicine to people. They don't know about it, something we should be taught. It was created over hundreds of years ago, but 111 years ago is when the AMA shut us all down. There were over 250 schools. Now there's like maybe 4, and they're really trying to take us down again because when the power is in your hands, you guys don't need pharmaceuticals anymore. So I get people off of pharma a lot. It's a process, and you have to be willing to do it. Sorry, I have flies right now. I leave my door open all the time. Open door policy here at Amanda Lynn's house. All right. I'm in a new place, you might see. Yeah, a little farmhouse out in the country. Lobelia, native Indian tobacco. I've used this homeopathically a lot to help people get off of tobacco, as well as help them breathe in general. It's a huge lung herb. And I think this is really pertinent right now for colds going around or something that might prevent you from breathing well or you're coughing too much. Little drops of Lobelia inflata could be very helpful. This is what she looks like in the wild, and you can definitely get it from Herb Farm or Wise Women Herbs. I recommend Oregon-based ones. Gaia Herbs is a really good one on the East Coast, South Carolina. All right, there she is in the wild. Not as fancy as the garden versions. The garden versions are like a lupin or something like that, upside down. But all my medicines are on my arm there. And the next one we'll talk about is Digitalis. You've probably seen that one. Amazing herb. Goes in after fires and helps bring back life again. That's what a lot of these first aid herbs do. They're first aid for the planet and for us. So back to Lobelia, helping us breathe here. It's a stimulant. Pretty much, you know what a stimulant is, right? Diaphoresis helps you sweat, which is really important. It's the body's way to get out toxins and cool itself down. An expectorant help to get up the mucus, get it out of the lungs. Antispasmodic to calm down too much coughing that you're getting all jacked up from. We even use it for spasms of other organs. Not necessarily muscles. I haven't used it for that way, but I wonder, actually. There's so much more restless leg anymore, huh? A medic help you vomit up poisons. Now, all these have that built in because nature's so smart. If you get too much of the lobelia, you're going to puke to get it out, just like digitalis. They both do this. Don't rely on that though, but it's really cool that Mother Nature does that. Uh, Depressant oral relaxant. Oh, wait, I mean a stimulant and the depressive relaxant sedative too, so it can go both ways. Stimulant to both the para and sympathetic nervous systems. So this is where it takes somebody who knows what they're doing to dose it. Typically, these things are you go in the small dose to stimulate and a large dose to suppress. That definitely can go along with some other things in the hops family there. Marijuana, coffee, alcohol, those can kind of do a little similar things too. Um, so, with that, spasmodic conditions, like can't breathe, especially with exertion, it's aggravated by exposure to cold, lungs go into a spasm with that all the time. Sorry, everybody's excited. FB and Instagram went down today. Yay, yay. Oh, I wouldn't even go there, but I'm just very grateful. All the misinformation, right? Spasmodic conditions did that. Labored breathing with a sense of suffocation. That's if it's really suffocating, lobelia is not working well enough, go to sambucus. Elderberry homeopathically could very well help that. I have, I don't know if I've shared it here. I think I shared it. My elderberry near death experience with the cyanide in there, but now cyanide and elderberry are my iocane powders, and I can have anybody try and poison me with it. It ain't gonna work. All right. The antidote, speaking on these things, and the antidote for the active ingredient being lobelline is atropine, which is from belladonna, another one of my dark fairy drop doses herbs. Not mine, but I use them and I respect her for that. And she's awesome in homeopathic forms or drop dosages again. They can help antidote each other, or activated charcoal. Activated charcoal is so important for you guys to all have in your cupboards, mothers especially. On the phone with poison control, it's the number one thing I'm going to have you do if you had it. Any kind of poison is going to go in and bind it up. Food poisoning will take days off of you feeling like crap. And you can't really go wrong when you have a poison with activated charcoal. Of doing too much, you're just going to poop black. Just don't do it all the time because it binds up all of our good minerals, potassiums, this kind of thing. This is why all these black charcoal drinks and everything out thinking it's all healthy. Well, yeah, it's a filter. It'll help pull stuff out for you, but don't do it all the time or you're not going to get your nutrients, your minerals, your sodium and electrolytes for your heart and this kind of thing. So it actually will lower your CO2 threshold to help you increase respirations. And now how cool is that? The body is amazing. Typically the dose would be 5 to 40 drops of tincture a day in 4 doses throughout the day. So like 5 to 10 drops 4 times a day when you're totally sick, can't breathe, needing help to breathe. Sometimes that can be just because you've got emphysema so bad, COPD, these different issues from smoking, but don't do that as a long-term treatment without connecting with a good herbalist or naturopathic physician who understands herbs. Not all naturopathic medicine doctors are the same. In fact, a lot of them are MDs, wannabe MDs. And they don't trust nature anymore. All right, antidote. We went over toxicity, burns the esophagus. That's a good way to make you stop eating in a poison, right? Salivating, tremors, weakness, paralysis, increased breathing, drop of temperature, and cardiac sinus problems. So it'll throw your rhythm off. So you got to be very careful with this one. All right, now to beautiful foxglove digitalis. Grows all over the clear cuts in Oregon. So many clear cuts. There's so much digitalis. But I try and take it and bring it home to plant it all the time. I don't have so much luck. Should probably just start from seed there, but I wanted the wild. I like the wild best. Digitalis. So I am going over, so I didn't tell you, this first aid herb walk I did with doctors at NCNM. Well, now it's NUNM. It's the oldest college of naturopathic medicine up in Portland, Oregon. Very sad, only 30 students this year have signed up for the school. This is how much they're trying to kill this knowledge that has been around since the Germans really started a lot of libraries that we have connections to here in the West. But every culture has tons of records on what herbs and have done for them. And we have, in fact, seen lots of records in Germany about how all the previous pandemics, the best doctors were the naturopaths overcoming these things. In fact, they talk about how, the people who got the vaccines were only sicker. And this is because it's a sicker type of way to go about it. It's more intense. If you can just use some hydrotherapy, clean air, sunshine, and the right herbs, exercise, whatever it might be, diet. These were all based on the old sanitariums. The one up in the mountain was Presnick's. One down in the valley who used more heat. And fasting was Scholl's. Shores. They were like antithesis to each other, but it's funny now we take both of theirs as being important for just the right kind of person. But yeah, the homeopaths were the ones who got all the royalty went to them. They didn't go have the quacks deal with them. The quacks were the MDs who used mercury, and mercury was the quack came from. Anyway, good to know history, you guys. See, they're still doing it. All right, so yes, this is a first aid, and I'm going to do more first aid herbs coming up next. We might do yarrow, which I think could be really important for women around the world right now because it can help abate amenorrhea, which is some intense bleeding with stagnation, bleeding from hemorrhoids. It's a blood mover. It helps induce fevers in a hot tea, and I've got some good drop dosage stuff from a doctor. I won't even say her name because I don't want her to get in trouble for me saying this stuff. Lastly is, I'm not your doctor, so this is all educational. I am not prescribing anything for anybody. My license is more important than that. So this is just for your knowledge to know that the stuff is here and out here and can be alternatives for us. Okay, digitalis. Digitalis is really important right now for the earth because of the anxiety, fear of the unknown. We can use digitalis in a 30C homeopathic to help with these kind of mental issues right now in the world. Where did I go? So I'm going to jump first to the homeopathic uses of it. Homeopathy, you're going to have far less propensities for a poor reaction. Homeopathy you can use with other medications. There's not contraindications. It works so differently that it doesn't matter. It's working with quantum fields, quantum energy, quantum medicine. When that comes around, people gather that more, you'll understand how homeopathy works a little bit more. It's like one drop of the plant in an Olympic-sized pool that's been activated with percussion. We call it a little like beat, drumming of the heartbeat kind of thing, activates it, goes in. We put on little lactose pills usually. It can be liquid, just a couple little drops, maybe a couple little pellets. And it's so gentle and just by energetically tell and help support your body to give it the key it needs to heal itself. It truly can work most potently. I see that homeopathy do immediate reactions, improvements in people that would have not have happened as fast. It happened on the way to the ER, like, oh, we don't have to go to the ER anymore. That worked. All right, let me see. I'm going to plug this light back in. I unplugged. It might help me look a little better here. Gadgets of the internet. All right, the O-ring. Here we go. So Digitalis works as a wound healer, which is really great for diabetic sores that won't heal. You would get the leaf and the flower, make up a tea, put some cloth in it, wrap it around your old seepy, fluidy, sticky, smeary, they say in the old literature, type of wounds. Ulcers, chronic ulcers just aren't healing up. It'll help you pull it out and get rid of that toxin, whatever your body's trying to get rid of, and it helps increase the blood supply to the area, which is another reason to be great for diabetic feet. That comes from Dr. Weiss. He has lots out on herbal medicine, Weiss, German or Austrian. I can't get that wrong. My maiden name is Degas, and it's a French Austrian. It's very popular in Germany, but if you say it's German, the Austrians look at you, Austrians. Anyway, either way around, like my Catholic family of Protestants and Catholics. I'm a constant and fighting myself. Okay. The homeopathic rubrics are fearfulness, anxiousness about the future. I was talking about some scaredness, anxiety, worse in the evenings, possibly just this insecurity about knowing what's going to happen. Digitalis can be very helpful for. How many people could use that right now? I think we need to dose the water. We're talking about dosing it with mushrooms. Now we're going to dose it with Digitalis. If your intellectual faculties, impaired thinking, confusion, especially worse after being intoxicated, Digitalis could help. Breathing irregularly or deeply, or the big sighs, kind of thing, you don't even realize it. Your heart might not be working very well, or it's a heart like pain, which is so cool because homeopathy will help on the emotional side, the mental side, the spiritual side, and the physical. That's why it truly is a one and done. Or doing my herbs in just small doses, drop doses will do that too. That's why these have typically, I'm giving you SIGs on both. All right. Heart sensation, as if the heart has stopped. Fluid built up around the heart, pericarditis, that's definitely serious. When the pericardium is pulmonary edemas, I would use it with as well. Chest congestion, sighing, irregular respiration, palpitations, even with the heart, palpitations from anxiety, from overexertion, or just violent, intense palpitations. The heart is out of whack and is not coming back. Something like Digitalis could work. Watch out, I'll rhyme when stuff is making sense for me. All right, so Borky, this material medicine, who saved me to figure out what was going on with my Sambucus elderberry. The dosage is wild is best. What kind of dosage was that? That's like figure it out yourself. 1 to 3 drops. That's how much you would use of Digitalis if you were had made a tincture in the wild. So chronic users, be careful when you have to wean this off, especially with edema. Say if you had that going on around the heart, you would definitely want an expert to help you come down off of that, and to help what I do usually dovetail in something else that we're going to step you down to. In this case, it could be my favorite, Crataegus or hawthorn berries, amazing for the heart. Or if you really had rhythm issues too, the cactus. Cactus can help. Convallaria, lily of the valley. Those are our 3 C's to help with heart palpitations. Crataegus, cactus, and convallaria, lily of the valley. Beautiful plant too. I wish it grew around here. All right, so these were all in Dr. John Sherman's The Complete Botanical Prescriber book. For more information, especially to my naturopath friends and herbalists who want to look up dosing and contraindications and weaning instructions. Would not recommend for internal use without reading his book on that. And unless you're in an emergency, then, whatever, grab what you got. This definitely grows around Mount Hood and different places where people can get lost and stuck for a while. OD symptoms, nausea and vomiting. Again, it's that protective loop. If you get too much poison, your body's going to puke it out for you with this stuff. You got too much in though, then you can start causing heart rhythm issues. You go too high, then it's going to make what it fixes worse. Slowing the heart down, fibrillations, palpitations, irregular heartbeat, even stupor. This is so potent. You have to watch it as gardeners. If your animals or children want to eat those beautiful pink long bells, they're very seductive. You bring people in. Even the vase water that you keep them in the house can be poisonous if you're not paying attention. So again, those are what a lot of people have in their gardens, and it is a potent heart rhythm medication, which can give you a hard time if you mess with it. All right, so that is it with Digitalis. Great, you guys have any questions? Hit them down below for me. I am going to continue with the series here on first aid and how our wild medicine can help with simple things, even with today, anxiety of unknown, anxiety of the future, and fear of the future. Digitalis 30C could be helpful. I am not your doctor. I'm not prescribing this to you. I'm just merely reading you books of where I've condensed to share. All right. Take care. I'll see you soon.